Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're in a day 20 of our 21 days of prayer. And my name is Nelson, and it's a privilege and an honor to share today what we find in John chapter 20. And join me particularly in verse 27 and 28. The word says, "Then he said to Thomas, 'Reach your finger here and look at my hands, and reach your hand here and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing.' And Thomas answered and said to him, 'My Lord and my God.'" Doubting Thomas. We have heard his story many times. Many of us have treated him very poorly, and we think that he is lesser of the apostles because of his doubts. But at some point, Thomas was a very strong believer. In chapter 11 of the same Gospel of John, he said, "Let us go with him, that we may die with him." He was willing to give his life for the gospel, for Jesus. In chapter 14, we find one of the declarations of our faith. Jesus said, "I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life." Who was he talking to? Thomas. Thomas says, "We don't know where you're going. How can we know the way?" And in the same manner, the Apostle Thomas has some lessons for us. And I want to bring to you only 3 very quick points that I want to share with you. First, we are to appreciate Thomas's placement. He was in doubt. He was confused. He was doubting about his faith. Probably many things made his faith, his foundation, shake. They made it confusing. But in this very sensitive moment for Thomas, instead of him running away, he went and stayed with God's people. Probably putting his life in risk, probably not understanding all the circumstances that he was going through, he stayed with God's people. And that's the first lesson that we can learn from him. Stayed. No matter your situation, no matter what's going on in your life, you might be in a mountaintop or going through moments that don't go as planned. Stayed surrounded by God's people. They can pray for you, encourage you, fast with you, and help you in anything that you might need. Secondly, we are to imitate Thomas's honesty. Thomas's honesty was clear. He said, "Unless I see it, unless I touch it, I'm not going to believe." That honestly is something that we can learn from. We need to, like some might say, keep it real. Make our faith be real and alive. Because when that is what we present to the Lord meet us where we are at. That's what Jesus did. Jesus didn't rebuke him necessarily saying, "I'm not going to show you my side. I'm not going to show you my hands." He said, "Here, look, test it and see that I am real. Test it and see that I am the one who I say I am." That same attitude that we keep, his honesty, can lead us to face God's expectation, and God is going to show up to show us who he really is, and he's willing to meet us where we are. And finally, we are to imitate Thomas's humility. When he saw the Lord, and the Lord says, "Come, I will prove to you that I am who I say I am." Instead of saying, "Lord, I don't want to do that," he fell on his face. He fell on his face and said, "You are my Lord, you are my God." Those 3 qualities are for us to keep today. And I want to encourage you that wherever you are in your path with God, your path with the Lord will meet you right where you are at. We need to keep our humility. We need to stay with God's people, and we need to keep our honesty. So thank you very much. I appreciate you joining me today, and I see you soon.